So, thank you so much for joining me for day two. Some of you were here yesterday and we learned about what you're going to sell and why that's super important to have belief in that and the decisions that you need to make that rock solid conviction. If anyone needs the replay of day one, just pop it in the chat and Angela will make a note of it. We'll make sure you get that. Um, but you know, all of these could be standalone days, so it's not, if you didn't get yesterday's, it's okay. This is all going to be following on from that. It's going to build on that nicely because we're going to learn the marketing steps that most people skip out, and they're the bits that your buyer really needs to become a buyer. So we're going to have a look at the five stages and what stages you've been skipping and why that's costing you potentially the sale, potentially the conversation, and you'll have a simple marketing plan that you can act on this week because I just see so often that we overcomplicate marketing to the nth degree. And really, it's the conduit between your thoughts, your insights, the way you see your industry, the offer you've got, and getting that out to people so that they can see that and buy it. It's literally that like link. That's it. That's the only thing. But yet we really do overcomplicate this. And there's so much information out there. It gets really messy and really difficult to know what to do. And I think we get stuck in the tactical side of things. You read one person and they're a boffin in this, and so you go and try that, and all of these things work, but they're all in, like, for different stages of business. It might not be suitable for your stage of business. So this is definitely the work that I know, having tried lots of different things, having been in sales and marketing for nearly 20 years. If you're trying to make your first steady, consistent revenue and just make that really steady so that it's repeatable every month, and it's around about the 5K mark, anywhere up towards 10K, if it's in that range, this is the work. And I know people skip over it just because it's not taught. You just don't know that this is the bit for you. It's kind of when people teach it, it's implied that you know this stuff first. Because it is really simple stuff, but it's so simple we skip over it. I did it when I first started. I was like, oh, I'll just jump on and start talking about stuff to people. That'll be enough. So that's what we're going to cover today. But how did you get on with yesterday's stuff? For those of you who came yesterday and you watched the replay for yesterday, have you got any questions from yesterday before we get started? Just drop them in the chat now and I'll answer them either as we go through or at the end. But just get your questions out here. If anything still isn't clear or you're struggling with anything. And remember, we do have the Slack channel. So you can show up in Slack and you can just put in the challenges and questions channel what is coming up for you, what you're struggling with, what question you've got. And I'll be in and out of there all day and I'll be answering your questions. And we've got traction in there. Actually, someone's booked a sales call just from doing the work, which is amazing. People have got clarity. They're like, oh, I know what problem I need to solve now. That's highly valuable. Saves you so much time and effort in solving the wrong problems. Yeah, amazing. Fantastic. Replay was great. Yeah, Simon, you've got that. Half replay. Half life. I thought you said half life isn't a half life, like radiation. Did yeah, half live and half replay was good because I got some real good thinking done. Yeah, amazing. Great AD. Don't worry, Lara, if you ever feel like, oh shit, I'm really behind because I haven't watched this, just find a time to watch it. But like, you will grab the learning as you need to, you experiencing it as you need to. You can't be behind with it. So don't worry. There's no need to like grabble or catch up or feel like, oh shit, I've not got this bit. So then there's no point with the rest of it because it won't make sense. I've tried to do this so that wherever you engage, you're going to grab some insight and it's going to have a profound effect on either getting people to sales conversations and having that nice and steady, or converting from the conversations that you've got. Um, I can talk about that in terms of, yeah. I'll answer that, Ash, after. If yeah, you can flag that, Angela. Your question about pricing, I'll answer that. Yeah. Simon, Yeah. Tell me what you mean by that. How do you feel about testing some of this thinking with a potential client or two? So we're checking our thinking aligns with our target audience before fully committing. Just tell me what you mean by that. Just pop another thing on that reply and I'll answer that after. Yeah, those two questions, I'll answer them after. We'll get started with what we're gonna look at today. Um, After yesterday, did anyone go away thinking, yes, this is all great, but I still am questioning whether I have enough people in my world, whether I've got enough kind of like access to people who would pay for this amount for this thing now? Just pop in the chat. Are you still a little bit of a question mark with that? Yeah, what do you think? Do you have enough people right now who have the problem that you solve for? Do you have access to them? Do you think they would buy what you have on offer? And if the door opens behind me, it's a dog. She won't see, but I can hear them like snaffling. They've got out. We thought we had them secured, but they're not. Oh, if the door opens. Yeah, questioning whether people see the value of my offer. There's lots of people to access. It's finding the ones that are committed, kissing a lot of frogs. Okay. Yeah. So this is going to help clean this up for sure. Self-recognition thing with me. They know they're worried, but not entirely sure they need my help. Yeah. Okay. So they're out there, but we're like, what do we say to get them to move towards us? This is great. If you're not wholly convinced they're out there, that is the first job. There's enough people. The problem is major. It's really honest. Yes, it's the problem is always us. That is the only reason why we don't have the result we want already is we've got a whole bunch of thinking about getting it. That's it. That's what it boils down to. So yeah, that thought is our job to think on purpose every day. I've got enough people, they're out there, even if you can't see them. This is like the biggest mind bender for your brain. Your poor human brain that is trying to like mitigate all the risk, get absolute certainty. We're doing something that puts you in a position where you don't have any of that. You have more of the uncertainty. So it's always going to pull you back to certainty. We'll believe it when we see it. Well, when the people come, then I'll get on board with it. And now things have changed with marketing. People consume content in a different way. They don't always leave the footprints behind that they used to. They see, they consume, they don't make it known, and then they just book a call with you or they do whatever it is that you're wanting them to do. So I would love to invite you to think and just think for a moment, how does it feel to think this thought that I'm going to give you? Someone right now is watching your content, your videos without commenting. They're reading your post without liking it. They're saving your content and coming back to it. They're mentioning something you said to a colleague or in a meeting. Someone's having a meeting about you right now. They're showing a friend. They're thinking about you and what you said when a problem comes up that you solve for. Where you're sitting, it looks like silence. It looks like nobody's there, but the silence is not absence. They're there. It's compounding in the background. Everything that you do is always working. There's just a few things that might not be clear. I'm going to share with you today what they are so that you can literally go and book sales calls. That's what we want. We want a steady flow of sales calls, and then we want to have a steady flow of people saying yes out the back of that. Also, being okay with people saying no as well. But how about that thought? How does it feel if you were like, someone is watching right now, and just to believe that before you see them, being really okay with that silence? How does that feel? Yeah. Yeah, Ash, people will tell this is the evidence. I want you to go and look for the evidence. I love your posts, reaching out of the blue. I've watched your thing, and you're like, who are you? I don't think I've ever seen you like anything. No, they won't. And this is the thing, when we think they're not there, we do weird stuff. We hold back. We're like, I'll save it until I've got a bigger audience. I'll save it until I can see. You know, if I knew that they were there, I'd show up differently. We need you to show up that difference now. It's what needs to happen because the things you're holding back from are the very things that your best people who want to buy, who are motivated, they're like, I'm getting myself there. I'm decided. I need some help. Now's the time. I need to start searching for a service provider, for someone that can help. They're doing that. They're just not telling you. So someone's watching your videos, your content, your emails right now, and just look at the evidence of where people have popped up out of nowhere. Someone said that to you. Somebody told me the other day they had a Helen folder, and I'm like, now you have to clarify what that is. What is it? And they said it's all your stuff, all your emails. I just grab them and put them in there. And then when I'm like a little low on my sales or like I feel a bit glum, I go to it and there's always something there and I grab it and I use it. And within a few days, weeks, things have changed. I had no idea that was happening. And if one or two people are saying that kind of stuff, there's going to be a compound amount behind that that people just don't tell you. So it's your job to think on purpose. They are there. They need to hear this. Yeah, Raina, you've been recognised from customer visits from your social media. Yeah, profile views are going up. It feels much more positive to think that. It's so true. I've had this happen. People say, I love your post, or they reach out of the blue. So Helen's wise words. Thanks, Kath. Oh, I have a Helen thought, oh, Jenny, this is so nice. Yeah. So we want you to think that and create that for your audience because they're wanting their Jenny folder or their Kath folder, that version of that for them. So your job always is to sit in that belief whenever you find yourself sitting out of it, and you'll know because you feel glum, you feel shit. What's the point? I can't be asked posting. Nobody's stepping forward. Nobody's booking calls. That's the very time where you're like, someone needs to hear this. There's somebody watching now. What can I share with them? And I'm going to share with you what to share with them. But remember, the person who books a call next month has probably been watching you for 3 months already, or a couple of weeks, or a year. The referral that comes in out of nowhere came from someone who remembered something you said weeks ago. The DM that says, oh, I've been following you for a while doesn't just happen like now. It's because they've found you, looked, seen something, and have moved forward. So it's always working. You just can't see any of it happening, which is a bummer for your brain because it wants finite certainty. It wants to know who's going to reach out, when will they reach out. The thing is, you'll never know. This is the thing. So your brain's focused you in on an area that you are out of control on. No wonder it feels anxiety inducing, doubtful, like sketchy, frustrating, disappointing, because you can't control it. So I want you to pull back today. All of this you'll notice that I teach you is in your control. So you can change it. So your job over the next few weeks is not to wait to see them, to decide on purpose they're there, look for all the little micro evidence of it happening, and show up. It show up when you're bored, show up when you think I can't be asked saying this again. I want you to show up, and then I want you to show up some more. That's what's needed. Just have to keep doing it. You'll be bored because this is like, oh my God, it's like the fifth time I've said this. Do I have to say this again? Yeah, you might have to say it 50 times. Can we find an energy to do that? That is what is behind your whole marketing. Otherwise, it's just a static bit of paper, like a plan on a bit of paper. It needs your energy behind it. It needs you to remember why you're doing this because someone needs to hear this and they're out there and they're ready to buy. So, um, yeah, let's go through the 5 stages. Oh, in fact, actually, let me ask you something else. Sorry, I just had a thought there. I'm going off my own plan here. So, if you did know wholeheartedly people were out there right now ready to buy and they were searching for your solution, how would it change how you show up? Tell me in the chat. What would you say or share specifically that you might have been holding back? How often would you show up? Maybe it would change that. But like if you really knew and you felt it in your body and you're like, they're out there, I know that. And you truly believe that, how would it change how you show up? Panic. Ash, why would you panic? Panic in a good way or panic in a not good way? Because the panic could be, oh, I'm excited. Shit, that could be a lot. Or it could be like, oh crap, I can't deal with that. Yeah, be more hopeful, might be more enthusiastic. Feel like I need to reach out my hand to them, pull them close and say, it's all right, I'm there for you. Lucy, I love that. Do you ever tell your people that, like in those words, in a post or an email? I would show up more often and show them how easy it is to work with me. Confidence would go up. 100% on all the time, bring my best every day. Well, you've had the training, so you know how to do this. Yeah. Yeah. And how do you keep finding the energy to do that, Raina? Tell us in the chat. Yeah, like excited, but also a bit creeped out that someone is watching. Don't know who. Yeah, I mean, how cool is that? You could literally, when we were saying creating clients, that's how you create clients. You don't go and get them, you don't find them, you create them. Because all this stuff here that everyone's saying, I'd show up more often, I'd show them how easy it is to work with me, I'd take my hand and literally grab them and say, look, come over here if you need help with this. I'd feel more confident. I'd be on it all the time. I'd bring my best every day. All right, it might be a bit of panic and a bit of excitement, like, oh, I don't know who or where, but like, I'm going to show up for them even if it feels a bit strange. Probably not those words, but I'd use those words, Lucy, because they're clear AF. There's no doubt in what you're sharing there. Yeah, it'd be exactly the same, Catherine, if it's product or service. Yeah. Yeah. More hopeful. Do you see what I mean? Do you see what's just spilled out of there in like 2 minutes? Show up like that now. Don't wait for the external to change. Oh, and then they'll get the good stuff. Then I'll show up 100%. Then I'll feel more confident. Then I'll share that. Then I'll do it more. Then I'll tell them more stuff. Then I'll tell them more about how it all works and make more offers. We have to do that now. That's our job. It's your jobs. If you're have your own business or you're working for someone and your responsibility is selling and marketing, that's it. Yeah, Catherine, you might just be a little bit more direct with like, you need this product if you're going to go and do this. This is how it works. You need to buy this now. Tell me what it is that you sell in the chat. But that's it. Don't you see all of this? I'd show up a little bit more, I'd do this, I'd be more confident. Don't wait for anything to do that because that is what creates a client. When you're holding that back because you want to see something different, whether that's engagement, subscription, followers, impressions, sales calls booked in, they don't hear what they need to hear to step forward. So they can't step forward, they can't make themselves known. So we don't wait, or when I see it, then I'll behave like that because you won't be doing the work or saying things clearly or with enough conviction and confidence for them to step forward. We're literally putting a massive block in between you and your audience. You are severing the things that they need to step forward. We're holding them back. We want to. Oh yeah, with you, Catherine, jewelry, lovely. You can show them it, which is amazing. Yeah. And Lucy, say those exact words. When we're like, oh, I can't say that, it's too direct. That's exactly what that is the difference between someone booking a call and not. That's a difference in a sales conversation between a decision and indecision, a yes or a no. Just like let the break off, literally run into it. Feel all the emotion that comes with it. Say the thing and then go and give yourself a treat. Whatever that is. Because you've just done an amazing step for your business. So whether that's a post, an email, whatever it is, whatever you're holding back from, just out of interest, what would you say? Like in the chat, what is it that you really want to say when you say I'd be more confident? I'd just say it like this. I'd just give them more offers. I'd say how easy it is. Like, what would you want to say? Just when that pops up, just pop it in the chat. Everyone's holding back. They're like, oh, she'll make me say it then. Yeah, damn right. Because if that's the thing between booking a sales call, helping someone make a decision, why would we hold it back? And I'll give you my theory on it to make us feel better. It's got nothing to do with your audience. I don't think they'll be able to cope with that. Translates to because I don't think I could. Or I think they'd find it too blah blah blah, whatever. It's because you find it. to. Oh, Jenny, yeah, I'd look at that. What is the most important number about your health? You've done the right thing reaching out to me. I can really help and make a difference. Yeah, Kath, and then tell them why. Because someone's going to read that and go, what is the help and how does that change things? Why do I need that now? Who needs to hear that now? Yeah, brilliant. Okay, so let's move through this then. So here's the five-stage pathway to connecting with your buyer. We've just done a little bit of that now because your buyer isn't thinking about marketing and selling as two separate things. Oh, I'm in Helen's marketing now, I'm in Helen's selling. They're just thinking, is it clear to take this next step? Like, do I have a next step to take? What is the next thing that I would like to do? So start thinking about this as a pathway, but I really want you to think about it from your client's point of view because your job is to show up and help them see the next thing that they need to see. And when you make this like stupidly simple in your head, it will be really simple for them. Because remember, if it's confusing and you're trying lots of different tactics and you're flip-flopping around, it's going to be really confusing for you and it's going to be confusing for them. Confused people can't take the next step. So, one thing to just kind of help you reconcile with all of this, back in areas of control, you are in control of your show up level. And what I mean by that is what you say, how often you say it, the quality of thinking, connection, thought, effort that goes into what you're saying for your client. How many times you say that, what you think about them, what you think about your saying, what you're saying, what you hold back from saying. You're in control of so much of this. What you're not in control of, I'll tell you the two things, is who reaches out and when, their timeline. And when you get really angsty, why are they not doing the thing? Why are people not booking calls? I imagine who said that this week. Probably said that. Why are they not doing the thing I want them to do? It's because you're focused on the wrong bit of the equation. You're focused on their bit, which is the time. You don't know who's going to reach out or when. All you've got to do is be ready to move them through the next step so they can get to booking a call. But what I see happening so much is you start at the end of this process. Why are they not booking a sales call? Is the back end of this process. That's step 5. They enter the sales process, they book a call. So we're skipping out all of this bit, and that's the bit that your client gives most of a shit about, the people in your audience right now. So we're missing out the very bit that's highly valuable for them because we're hyper focused on them doing what we want them to do now. And that can feel exhausting because again you can't control it, you can't get any traction from that. So that's why it feels tiring. This is why I hear people saying I'm tired of marketing, I'm tired of showing up all the time, I'm tired of like sending messages, I'm tired of not getting this, it's overwhelming. It's because we're having tiring and overwhelming thoughts about it. Why are they not doing the thing I want them to do is going to tire you out because you haven't got an answer for it. What am I in control of? What can I share with my audience that could help them take the next step? Where are my buyers at? What can I share with them is a more energizing thought because you've got so much choice and option and you've got no restriction there whatsoever of how often and the quality and frequency of what you say. And when you understand that, the whole thing gets a lot easier. You stop asking, like, have I said enough? Is it okay to post this? Am I doing too much? Should I be over here? Should I be in there? Can I say this? Do I put the link in the comments? Do I put the link up here? It's exhausting, isn't it? You just start asking, where is my buyer at now? And have I spoken to them at that stage of the journey? If they were uncertain, what would they need to get very certain? I think it was you, Lucy, that said they don't know they need me. If you told them, if you're saying or thinking these kind of things, this is ideal for you because you're at an ideal stage when you've got this going on in your business. You're ready for this. Tell them why. So the first thing is in this, actually, before I move on, does that make sense? Can you see that in yourself? Like, no wonder it's tiring. I'm like getting all het up and judgy, almost a bit angry at them. Like, why are they not doing what I want them to do on my timeline? I get this too because I know what's value, I know what's on offer, I know what's on the other side of it. And so I'm like, I get a bit angsty with this. So whenever I get like that, I know my brain's in the wrong place. It's perfectly normal. You have a normal human brain. It's gonna do stuff like this. But yeah, do you ever get like that where you're like, oh my God, why won't they just do the thing I want them to do now? Yeah. So let's go through this step by step. So the first stage is they have to find you. If they're not finding you, they're finding someone else and they're getting paid. Don't want that for any of you. I've had a poke around. I know what you all do. It's highly valuable. And I know you do it really, really well. So if people are not finding you and they have the problem and they're out there, they're finding someone, it's just not you. So this is a stage that most people underestimate. We think we're visible enough. We're almost never as visible as what we think we are. I had someone the other day ask me if I was on LinkedIn, and I'm like, I'm on it about 3 times a day. I'm like, are you serious? And now here I am, sometimes thinking, indulging in a thought, like, oh, I wonder if it's too much for them. Better hold it back. Whenever I have that thought, I always just do it anyway because I know it's not, because nobody sees 100% of your stuff, only you. So people need your help right now and they cannot find you. Have you told people the obvious, simple stuff? Who this is for, what it is, what results you get, what the results look like, the kind of person who works with you. Why does that person get the results? What changes for them when they do? The simple things that you decided on yesterday. I bet you haven't told people that in simple terms. When we said, I think someone said in the chat, I don't say it in those simple words. Why not? Why are we not doing that? What makes us want to judge it up or say it differently? If it can spill out in the rawest form, you're going to sound so different. People are going to get it straight away. There's going to be no confusion. They move to step two. If we're trying to farce around with that and make that sound more professional, excuse my French, I'm sorry, but like if you're trying to be more professional, professional could go fuck itself. It's not going to help you make more money and sign more clients. It's going to push people further and further away because in doing that, you're going to confuse your message, you're going to dilute it and water it down. When you think people need more time or more of anything to like make decisions, oh, they're going to need warming up, so I'll have to warm them up. We say a bunch of fluff. And people are like, but what do you really mean? Has anybody got somebody that they maybe network with? You really like them. You've networked with them for a while. You've seen them in your audience, but you're like, I haven't got a clue what you do. I haven't got the foggiest. So, like, people need to find you, land in your world, and think, oh my God, this is for me. This person does the thing that I need help with. Like, they have to find you. So, sometimes we think we're doing enough, but we maybe need to do a little bit more to be clearer more often so people recognize themselves in that. Has that ever happened to you where you're like, lovely person, but I've got a clue what they do? Can't even like get a ballpark, couldn't refer them, couldn't like buy from them. They might actually solve a problem I have, but I haven't got a clue. Yeah, my wife still doesn't know what I do. My dad thinks I do something for computers because I'm on a laptop all the time. Yeah, they seem to ignore me. It's because they're not hearing what they need to hear from you, Wonder. They are, it's both correct. Yeah, they are ignoring you in some aspects because A, they can't see you, and B, they don't know it's for them. Because if they saw you and they knew it was for them, they'd move forward. So what can you tell them? Mine was like, I'll tell you one of mine. I didn't tell people I had a group program. I kept talking about the sales refresh, and people were like, "What is it?" I'm like, "Oh, it's a 6 month group coaching program," and they were like, "Oh, right. You want to tell people that?" And I'm like, "Well, is it obvious? How would they know? How would they know?" And people are like, "Oh, is one to one the only way you could work with you?" No, I have a group program. So things that you think are super obvious, this is what you need to tell your audience right now. This is what I solve for people like you, and you show up and you make that known. So it's really simple, really clear. Most people assume their audience already knows this stuff. They think they've said it enough times, you won't even be close. Your best person is out there thinking, I wish I could find someone who helps people like me with this problem, and you do, but they don't know that you do that yet because you haven't said it plainly and simply often enough. So before we think about strategies or platforms or content or anything like that, if someone landed on your profile page today, would they know within 30 seconds who you help, what problem you solve for, what kind of result they can expect? Would it be obvious to them that you exist? In fact, I have a social media audit. Do a full process with clients when they come into the sales refresh. But Angela, can you make a note for me? I will put in the emails that follow this a link to the 10-minute social media audit. So you can ask people who don't quite know what you do, they're like on the peripheral, to answer these 3 or 4 questions, and it will tell you which bits you need to strengthen. But that will be the first thing. Like, if they land here, do they know they're in the right place? Do they know you solve a problem that they have? And if you think yes, great. Why? Why do you think that? If you think no, why do you think that? And then go and course correct. If it's a yes, they do, say it more often. Say it clearer, say it lots of different ways. The other thing is, are you having conversations? Are you in places where people who have the problem you solve for are spending time? Is it easy for someone to find you or to be pointed in your direction? I want anybody who has any sales and marketing problem to be like, you want to speak to Helen over there? Just, I don't know if she could help you or not, but you said sales, think, go and speak to her. We sometimes get so like bogged down in the overqualifying, and we don't talk to the people who are not necessarily our clients, but they're our peers, our fellow business owners, where you think there's no point speaking to Helen, she's a sales coach. I have a network of nearly 10,000 people. If you need something, I think you probably find it. I helped someone this weekend. He messaged me and he said, I know you've got a big network. Do you mind helping me? I need 3 things. And I was able to give him a couple of options for each thing. There's no point in having a big network if you just sat on it and not using it. So speak to all the people around you, not just, I'm only going to like funnel it down to just these people, because we're losing all the opportunity for these people to go and bring your best clients to you. And we spend and waste so much time that is exhausting to do that. So, all the people, are you having conversations with all the people? If your best clients aren't having sales calls, go and have conversations with other people. They're going to ask you questions that you're not going to like the answers to because you might not be able to answer them. You're going to be like, shit, I hope they don't ask me about this. That's a really good thing, actually. What's the one thing that you dread someone asking you about your offer? It might be something like, well, will it work? Like, who do you do it for? Well, how does coaching work then? That was one of mine. I hated being asked that because I was like, I don't know how to answer it. It just can work because that's all I know. It's not enough for your audience to move forward. So, what do you dread someone asking you? That's the thing to go and answer and solve for and then tell people about. Because if you're like, I don't want them to ask me that, I guarantee that's the thing that they're going to ask. They're asking in their head and you're not answering. You never know who knows who. So we want to make sure that all that simple stuff is coming out, and it's coming out not just to like the 5 people that you think are your ideal people and you're just going to talk to them. We're going to have conversations with all the other people because they can bring your best people to you. They'll help you, they'll ask you stuff like that doesn't make sense. And then yes, you might feel shame, you might feel like embarrassed, but how amazing is that to have that information that actually it doesn't make sense? That's my job. I've got to clean that up. And the person who's not your buyer today might know someone who becomes your buyer next week, next month. Does this make sense? Is this landing? Can we see how we might be like, oh shit, I thought I was doing enough. I was getting visible. I know lots of people in my network that are visible haven't got the foggiest what they do. So I'd be stuck on like, I found you, but I don't really know what you do. Can't move forward. Oh, Lucy, I made a super clear LinkedIn post yesterday, got a collaboration request. Yes, this is how it works. Why does it cost so much? Yeah, why don't you answer that? Like, yeah, it costs money to do this work. This is why it's priced the way it is, because give them the reasons why it's amazing for them to pay that amount of money to work with you. Do you think it's amazing for them to pay that amount of money? Because if you don't, you won't be able to answer that. And then they won't be able to move forward to you. So you need to solve for that bit. The second thing, they see you have something for them. So they found you, they're like, okay, I think they solved for the problem that I've got. Okay. Now they need to know immediately how that works. This is where so many people lose potential clients without even knowing it. They land on your profile, they read a post, they think that sounds nice, but I'm still not sure, is that for me? And then they hang. They can't move further forward. And you're over here going, book a call with me, book a call. And they're like, I don't know why I need to do that. Do you help people like me? Most of the time, it's not because your offering is wrong, it's just because we haven't said it in plain, clear enough language. Who it's for and what changes for them when they work with you. This shows up when you work really hard on your content and you're showing up consistently, you make offers, but you still don't get people booking calls, or when they come to calls, they don't convert because they don't really know what changes for them. And you don't spend time talking about that because you're like, book a call with me. So tell people, what's the first thing that changes when they work with you? What does the work look like? Why does that work? What have they tried before? Why was that never going to work? Your job at this stage is to show up and talk about your work, who it's for, why you know it works. So specifically, you can show them results. But if you only show them results and you don't tell them how they get them, they'll be like, that's nice for Joe Blogs, but how does that work? And I don't think it's going to work for me because of my set of special circumstances. I don't have as much time as what he had. I don't have as much energy. I've got the kids, I've got this going on. So are you talking to their thinking? Your job at this stage is to show up and talk about all of that so they can say, oh my God, this person's got something for me. This might be the thing that works. Look at it, it works with people like them. I can see a pathway. I could see how it would all work. And not everyone is going to be a buyer, and that's fine. You're not trying to reach everyone. You're making it easy. Your job is the best person recognizes themselves and knows they're in the right place. That's it. We don't have to convince everyone of that. We're just like, look, if it's you and you want this, this is how we do it. So they'll move forward. And there's a full framework of finding the exact language your best person uses, making everything you put out land specifically. That's one of the first things we build inside the sales refresh, along with your offer and your pricing and getting decided. You'll go out and start speaking about it with more confidence, way quicker than trying to work this out on your own. That's what gives things like Lucy's at collaborations, sales calls get booked. That's the kind of engine behind it. The third stage is they engage and they find something usable. Just realized I have some slides here. They engage and find it usable. Useful gets a like, it's a that's nice, but they'll probably scroll on by. Usable gets them coming back. I don't see enough usable content out there. I look at stuff and people are like, hey, there's a like report, industry report here. Here's a link if you want it. Why don't you read it and tell people like two or three things that they need to do to get the result, or what you took from it and what results you got, and link it back to your offer? That would be more usable, but it requires a bit of effort from you. There's like frameworks that people have. That's nice. Framework. Pick a bit out and say, this is what it sounds like when you're having a conversation with a leader, or as a leader with a team member that you have to have a challenging conversation. I use this framework. This is how it sounds. This is how it changes things. So people are consuming content, they're watching your videos, they're reading posts, they're listening to you, they're finding it, yes, nice, useful. Are they finding it actually usable? And what I mean by that is, do they get a measured, impactful change? When they do that, like, oh my God, that was easier. Oh God, that conversation went so differently because I just did that one tip that that person gave me. I wonder what it's like to work with them. If I got that from this, Christ, what's it like when I actually pay them or hire them or work with them? So the question to ask yourself about every single thing you put out is if they watch this, read this, consume this, what will they actually be able to do? Not what will they think about it. I hope they book a call. Oh, I know what, I'll spend all day putting it through ChatGPT. And then, yeah, that sounds great. Or put that out. Why are they not booking a call? How much effort and attention and focus and thinking has gone into making it usable like that? But we put all our time and effort and energy into like this is the thing that's going to book a sales call. So do you see what I mean when I say you don't need more time to make this work? We just need to have a different focus. We need to have a different thought about it, different beliefs about it. And then you're still doing the actions, you're just making it more like effective so that people actually step towards you and book calls or they convert. So for every piece of content, you need to ask, what will it actually be able to do with this? Can they feel something different after I've given it them? Is there like a measurable shift that moves them towards you? Would it be very impactful? And one of the exercises I do this with my one-to-one clients, I do it with group clients as well. If your revenue goal, for example, is 5K consistent months or 8K months or 10K months, whatever it is, I want you to write that figure down. And when you're creating your content, I want you to think about could someone from that one piece of content save themselves or make themselves 10K, 5K, 6K, whatever it is? Have I made it valuable to the tune of the money that I want to create? Because you might want to create the money, but if you can't create the value, we're not going to create the money. And this is why getting hung up on that final stage of like booking a call is not going to make you more valuable. It's like just blowing into the wind. This is the stuff, this is the engine behind it that makes it more valuable. When you think about how making something usable, has anyone got an example of this where they're like, oh, I've got this framework, but I don't know how to make that usable, Helen? Or anything where you're like, yes, but I can't quite, how do I turn that into something usable that they'd feel different about? Because we don't want to convince people, we're just showing up, we're giving them something real. They felt something when they did it, they felt a difference. That's what's going to move them further forward. So has anyone got anything where they're like, yes, but with that? Or are you all like, oh my God, I've got something I could use. It will be useful. And I could actually just tweak that and make that very usable. Yeah, that's so good, Yolanda. They will always get an infinite compoundable value over time. If you were I don't know, just working with leaders and you helped a leader with one tip and it changed the way that they ran a team or a sales call or could have a conversation, imagine the compound value that would come out of that. Maybe they could have a better relationship with that person. Maybe that person wouldn't leave. Imagine the cost of someone leaving because a manager can't have that conversation. Then themselves as well, they're able to build value in themselves, become more valuable. They could go and eventually, or as this compounds out, go and get a bigger salary. Like look at how this compounds out into the thousands, tens of thousands. Yeah, that's our job always. When we feel that frustration, Yolanda, is to just do it frustrated. It's like I'm frustrated, but I can be frustrated and just be valuable at the same time. Yeah, 25 years experience, Lara, oh my God, you were going to be able to like, it's that. Well, that would take them hours. And if you imagine all the people involved in the meetings trying to fix that problem, if you added up all their salaries and how many meetings and how many times that particular thing happened over the lifetime of that business, and then you look at how much you charge, it would be an insane amount of value. This is what I mean. People, we just forget this stuff. Alan, usable and free trials. Possibly. I would have a look at what are we not explaining up front? How could you explain it up front? How could you show? Because you've got a tech thing, so you could show how it looks, how it works, and how that helps solve a problem, and what happens when you take that problem away with your tech. You could show them that in your content. When someone wants a free trial, yeah, there's a thing in tech as well with demos for sure. But why do they want a demo? It's because they can't see it, they don't know how it works, they don't trust it fully yet. A trial is like, I'm not sure, so like let me try it. So how can you talk about all the use cases, what it's actually delivered? So maybe there is a demo part of your step of your process for sure, but I think you can make it usable in your content by literally, let me show you how you use it. And then can you do that in your existing tech? And then yeah, come in and I'll gift it to you for like a session or whatever, or a day or a week. You can use it and see, because they'll feel the difference of it. Your offer, Ash, for you, your offer is about process. For your client, it's always the result. 100%. That's the only thing they ever give a shit about is, can I get it like this, looking like this, in the way I want it with you? Yeah, and you just make it easier and quicker and simpler to get them that, for sure. Just talk about all the examples, Ash. There's so many different things and pieces I talk about. Take them back to the result that people get, not the process as such. Like they came in looking like this, it's looking like that. This is how we got them there, and we did it in this amount of time. So they want to know how they're getting it, but they want the result. Yeah, and just do separate posts. Have one post that's like, I'm going to show the process, I'm going to show the result. You can use the same example. Just, yeah, and this is the thing, you could just do more of it. You're never going to, and this is the cool thing. What great example, Ash. You're never going to run out of things to say. Yeah, you under so when they feel more rested, what can you give them that they could use so they can get a glimpse and a snapshot of feeling more rested? Yeah, really good. So usable isn't just they take an action, they feel something different. So if you were going to do a demo, Alan, how could you set them up so that they could do it in a way so they can feel the difference in what they're currently doing and your stuff? So you might, your tech might do a lot of things, but like you're just going to point them in one thing so they can feel it and experience it. And in all of that, there was no convincing. You didn't have to sell on them. You just showed up and gave them something real and they felt a difference. That's it. That's the kind of thing, that's the trust that turns a follower, like, oh, that's nice, into a buyer. They've just moved towards you. Step four, they're ready to take the next step. So up until this point, no one's actually, they haven't actually done anything. They haven't moved towards you. But can you see this is the step that everyone gets hyper focused on? This is where you guys are starting. You're like, oh, I start here, book a call with me. This is a stage that most people get a little bit incorrect. People are waiting for you to tell them what to do next, and we don't tell them anywhere near enough, or we tell them once and then we pull back because they think that's a bit pushy, that's a bit much. Gosh, like I don't want to look too salesy. What's the correct balance between value posts and sales posts? That tells me you don't value your sales call and the pathway, and showing them that is the ultimate value. You can't get any more valuable other than working with you. That's the shift. It's not sales versus value, it's all valuable. And this is the stage that they've been watching you, they've been using what you put out. We don't give them a next step. Or I see on posts, they're like, you can email, ring, and there's like four things. Or we say, just DM me. It's too vague. We need, if this is you, we need you to do this next thing now, and give them a reason why. Make it very simple. If you're asking someone to DM, you can give them a word to DM, but you could tell them to do something like, if you've got, I don't know, you're in recruitment, if you want me to look at a vacancy and you're not sure if this is the thing that I can help you with, send it me in a direct message and I'll just tell you. Here's the booking link. Have a booking link for people. You do not want any friction in them taking this next step. I've had it before where people are like, I don't like booking links. Unfortunately, it's not about you. What makes it a smooth, easy, clean to get someone in your diary? Have you ever had it when you've been on the receiving end of the back and forth and the diary dance in the comments on LinkedIn and you're trying to get booked in with something? Can't do Fridays. Oh, okay. Well, what days can you do? Will you just let me know when you're free? Okay. Well, there's about 10 different slots that I'm free. What about tomorrow? Oh, I can't do tomorrow. And we laugh about it. And I can feel some of you nodding along, going, yeah, that happens. Yet we do that to our clients. Don't do that to our clients. Make it really easy, make it really simple for them to step forward. And this is the thing that I really want you to lock into. You cannot push people away. When they've got the problem that you solve for, you want to have there's always a next step for them to take because they're going to slot in and out, in and out, in and out. So you want to make sure that there's always a next step. Not that they have to scroll back 20 posts and find it because you thought the right ratio was like just one salesy thing. That'll be enough for them. You're gonna have to, there's always a next step that someone has to take because there's always someone wanting to take the next step. So we can't hold that back. Don't make it confusing, make it really clear. And this is the bit that I want you to hear. The more times they hear that invitation, like I say, you don't push them away, you make it more comfortable and safer for them to take it. They come to expect it. They see it on every post. They see it in your featured section. It's on the end of an email. They know exactly when to take that next step. If we hold it back because we feel weird or we think we're going to push them away, that's not how it works. But what you will do is hold it back. We want to gift it generously. You cannot be too pushy with this. You cannot lose someone who's got the problem that you solve for by giving them the opportunity to take the next step multiple times. And you might have to do that with the same person. I've had clients join the group that I've asked them 3 or 4 times, like, are we doing it? Do you want to do it? Do you want to have a conversation? No, it's fine, Helen, not right now. I'm watching you. Fine, okay. And then something else comes around, they pop into my thoughts. You know what? I've got space for 2 more people to join. Do you want to be one of them people? Do you want to have a conversation? And I'm not phased if someone says yes or no, it doesn't matter. I'm not attached to that outcome. So when you're attached to it going a certain way, when you get really tiring thoughts about that, you think you will tire them out. That's why you hold it back. You won't, you can't. You can't say it enough times that they get tired. Your best people are going to love that. The people who are never your people, they're going to be like this again. Christ, I don't need this. Yeah, it's not for you then. It's fine. It wasn't written for you. It's not for you. You don't have to take that next step. So you cannot tire them out. You cannot push them away. You cannot lose the sale. But what we will do is not say it enough times and think they know exactly what to do. They could just reach out if they wanted to. I'll just leave it with them. They know where I am. It doesn't work like that. So can you notice that in yourself? Are you like, oh yeah, I'm trying to get that perfect ratio from sale value post. Oh, I'm rationing the most valuable thing, which is the time that I have with them. Can you feel yourself doing that a little bit? The more times they hear the invitation to take the next step, the more comfortable and safe and reassured they're going to feel to actually do it. So when we hold back the ask, we think we're doing it for the greater good of them. I'm sorry, this might sting. We're doing it for us to feel better. Are you noticing a pattern in all of this? It's always about us. We're making it about us all the time. We have to flip it so that you're looking at it from their point of view. Otherwise, they'll hang and they won't feel confident enough to take the next step because you're not. Again, lack of trust there from you. Yes, Simon, DM me to arrange a chat. You can just send me a message and tell me I'd like a chat. Yeah, really simple. And add a booking link to the post. It's just the easiest thing. Something like Calendly. Yeah, I mean, there's lots of tech out there, but Calendly is one that people know. Something like that. It's easier for you and easier for them. Lara, you've done that as well, haven't you? Do you want to pop a little note in the chat if you feel comfortable enough to just share what it was like before for you and for your clients and how easier it is now that you do that? Yeah, so there's always a clear next step for them to take. And then the fifth step is they take the action. They are entering into your sales process. And stage five just becomes a natural continuation of that. It's not a jarring like shit. Now I've got to perform and be the salesperson because they're going to get a weird version of you. You're going to do some weird shit then. Don't do that. It's just a continuation of what's already. We've been conversing, we've been being useful, we've been helpful, we're giving next steps. They've taken the next step. There's going to be a next step in your sales call. Maybe you don't know that's the thing. So tomorrow is going to be really helpful for everyone. We're going to go through how do we continue this so it's not a jarring like shit. Now we need to like perform, become the salesperson, and shit, it has to go a certain way. Maybe you don't even have a process for selling. Maybe you just like wing it. Maybe you just like, I'll decide that on the fly. I'll see what comes out of my mouth. Maybe you don't even have a process for a sales call. And this isn't about scripts, and this is about being very connected, very intentional. But there's three parts to a sales call that when you guide them through that, it will end in a decision. And if one of those bits is missing, it's hard for them to decide, and it's hard for you. It'll feel weird and pushy for you. And that's where, you're holding the space, we're having conversations, we're turning all of that, like they come excited and full of possibility and they've got ideas, and we turn all of that into a decision. You need to know how to do that. Otherwise, you'll be having lots of calls and they don't turn into, there'll be some that would have been paid clients that would have been a yes, that wanted to be a yes. We just didn't hold that time and space enough for them to get all their questions out. Because again, we feel weird about selling. So we're going to look at all of that, isn't it? Um, so that's the five steps. So which one do you think you're missing, or which you might have a few, but which is the one that you're like, it's definitely this one, it might be this one as well. What's your like best working theory? Which ones are you missing? And what will you do about it? Is it that you're not showing up and being clear enough so they can't actually find you? Is it that they can't know that you solve the problem? That they don't see anything interesting, they don't see themselves, the results, the pathway, they don't see you solving for problems that they have? Is it that they maybe you maybe do that, but they hang and there's nothing for them to actually tangibly get their teeth stuck into an experience? Maybe we are giving the next step, but we're not giving it often enough. Maybe you just don't even do that at all. Which bits are coming up for you? And then I'll answer some of your questions. But what I want to say is these five stages don't always go in that order, and they don't have to be one post for one thing. If you think about it, being very clear in what you do, I help these people with this. You will know if you need help with this because it'll sound like this. Here's some results that we got with people. You want these results, you take this next step. That might be a mixture of points one, two, and four. Next time, you might give them something really usable. And if you want help with this and direct support, you want my eyes on your team or your thing, like take the next step. You want this thing, this product, this service, book here, view the range here, check our delivery options out here. Like there's always something for them to take. So you don't have to get too bogged down with this. If they're just saying, if people aren't booking sales calls, what have I not told them? And then go and do that. You don't have to overthink like, oh, should it be parts one in that and two, or maybe I've skipped, just generally holistically in a given week or month, what have I missed out here? What have I not told them? It works better when all five stages are kind of symbiotically and you're thinking about that globally. What have I not shared this week that could help people who aren't sure or who are stuck at a certain stage? What am I writing this for? What stage are they stuck at? And I just want to make one final point, which is around uncertainty, because I mentioned it before. Our brains are not good with that. And silence and people not booking calls is uncertainty. So the thing that keeps the energy going is your ability to sit in your uncertainty for longer, whether that's frustration, doubt, embarrassment, shame, disappointment. If you can tolerate that for longer, You will hold the space for your brain to think, what can I share with them? Something will pop up and you'll share it. And you'll just keep doing that. If you can't hold the uncertainty, the people who are in your network who want to buy, who have the problem that you solve for, they can't be uncertain as well. You know, they've already got their own uncertainty. They need you to hold yours so they can get certain. When you can't do that, you're like, I can't deal with the silence, so I'm just going to not post because I think LinkedIn isn't working. They're still uncertain. So you've got to step into that uncertainty emotion and take your best guess and put your best brain forward and think for them and do that next thing. Whatever pops up, I could email that. I could tell them that. They didn't book in. They would be perfect. Let me go and tell them why I think they're amazing as a potential client and why this will be so useful and see if they want to take that step with me again. You'll just come up with ideas and do it. But when you can't hold that uncertainty, you won't be able to do what's needed to help them get out of their uncertainty because you can't tolerate it. That is one of the skills that I would say we teach over and over again in the group coaching. Every week it comes up. Every week it sounds like, I just don't think this is the thing. I don't think I'm in the right place. I think people aren't watching. What do I need to do to get a sales call booked? It's the lack of ability to sit in the emotion because it doesn't feel nice to sit in those emotions. So we try and get out of it. But in reality, they can't hurt you. It's just feeling something. And if you want to create more consistent revenue, part of this will be learning to sit in that discomfort for longer, to grow your capacity to feel more of these things. That's something that I never see taught in group programs ever. You like watch some videos and get on with it. It's not that kind of group program. I need to find a better way of describing it. It's an experience. You will come in, person you are, you will leave a completely different person with a new identity and a new thought and belief towards selling and marketing that makes you so much more money consistently. I don't know any other group program in the UK that does that. So that's the skill to build that. Because if you think about it, if that's not there, you this is why I've how long do you give it, Helen? 2 or 3 months? Then I'll give up. This is why things don't work. Do you remember yesterday we talked about getting very decided and not going backsies on things? That's what I'm talking about. You have 6 months of me, and actually, if you sign up before the end of July, I'll gift you August as well. So you get half a year of my support to help you stop doing that. So when you stop doing that, you can hold this space, this whole plan for your audience who are not sure. You can be like, I can be okay with like the uncertainty and the silence and keep showing up for you guys so you can get very decided. That's the skill. And not like, I just don't think LinkedIn's working for me anymore. Things have changed, algorithms changed, can't get any traction, used to it. Everyone's saying the same thing. I'm going to go over here instead. It's a waste of my time. Then you start over there, and that's what has to happen. You start again. Takes you 10 steps further back. It's always harder to learn the skill to make the thing work. It's easier to start again, but it's not what makes us consistent money. And that's the trap I see people falling into all the time. So if you want to talk about, if you're nodding along thinking, my God, this is me, Angela's going to put a link in the comments to have a conversation with me about what coaching looks like, how it helps you to hit your revenue goals, to design your selling and marketing in a way that makes you feel really good. What is the simple path from A to B? Like you're here now, you want to be there. What is that pathway? What are you missing? You're going to get my fresh eyes on your sales and marketing. It's a really valuable hour. And then at the end of it, you can just decide if that's the thing you want to go forward with in the right level of investment or not. But if it's not, you'll know what is. Like I say, it's a very highly hour that you can spend with me.